Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, good evening, depending where you are across the world. Welcome to the Common Chubs coverage of the Premier League clash. It's a big clash as well. It's last season's top two in the division going head to head. Is Arsenal the runners up against Manchester City? The first part of the day is to go through the all-important team news. And David Raya starts in goal for Arsenal, managed by Mikel Arteta. It's Ben White, William Saliba, Gabriel and Alexander Zinchenko, the former City player, across the back. It's Martin Odegaard, Jorginho and Declan Rice are the three men in midfield. No Bukayo Saka today. He misses out through injury, so Gabriel Jesus starts in a three-man attack along with Eddie Nketiah and Leandro Trossard. On the bench for the Gunners, which we'll go through in just a second or so, is Ramsdale, Partey, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Kiwa, Tomiyasu, Vieira, Nelson and Havertz. And now let's run you through the Manchester City side, who were managed today, as always, by Pep Guardiola. And they can line up, and they will line up like this, with Ederson between the sticks. It's going to be a back four for me, I think, with Kyle Walker, Ruben Diaz, Nathan Ake and Josko Gvardiol make up the back four. Kyle Walker is the captain for Manchester City today. Rico Lewis and Mateo Kovacic in a two-man midfield in front of the back four. Then there's Bernardo Silva, Julian Alvarez and Phil Foden in the attack. Behind the lone striker of Erling Haaland, who broke records last season, did Erling Haaland. The subs for Manchester City is Ortega, Phillips, Stones, Grealish, Doku, Gomez, Akanji, Nunes and youngster Oscar Bob. Joining me today for the match is Bruno Winter. We'll get Bruno's thoughts in just a moment. Man City have won the last 12 Premier League meetings, scoring 33 goals and conceding 5, and have won the last 6 meetings at the Emirates Stadium in the Premier League. Bukayo Saka, who misses out through injury tonight, or this evening or this morning, depending where you tuned in from, played for Arsenal in 87 of their last Premier League matches. The club record for successive Premier League matches, but was substituted in the 2-1 Champions League defeat to Lens on Tuesday after 34 minutes with a muscle injury. The last Premier League game he missed was when he was an unused substitute for a 2-0 Premier League victory against Newcastle back in May 2021. Start for Ederson. It means he is set to make his 300th appearance for Manchester City today, 299th start for him. We'll get Bruno's thoughts about him. But there's just one thing I want to speak about and fetch Bruno in on right now, and is Man City have lost 5 games of the 15 without Rodgers since his Premier League debut in 2019, August 2019. These 144 games they has played, they've lost 19 of them as the match is about to get underway. And Bruno, how big a miss do you think Rodgers is going to be today, especially serving the third of a 3-match ban this afternoon?
Yeah, hello everyone. Rodri for Manchester City, he's a big miss. He's what makes that midfield tick, and we all know how unbelievable that Manchester City midfield has been, especially since he came 4 or 5 years ago. He was the match winner in the Champions League final, of course, and he does pop up with the odd important goal, but obviously his role at the heart of Manchester City midfield, that's what they've really missed, and up against probably their biggest competitor for the title, again, away from home, that's going to be a big miss for them today.
Yes, it's Ederson, who has just launched a long downfield Alfred Arsenal goal kick inside the opening 20 seconds of this game after City kicked off and played it all the way back to their goalkeeper. As I mentioned, his 299th start for City today, is 300th game for Manchester City as well. He's wanting to be looking probably to keep a clean sheet on that occasion, as is Gabriel Jesus, who flicks it on, playing on the right of a front three today is Gabriel Jesus, and he picks up the ball again, knocks it down the line, looking for the one of Eddie Nketiah. Nathan Ake is across there to send it back to Ederson, who clears along looking for Erling Haaland, who challenges well with Ben White there, and Gabriel Saliba was out there covering as well. Now Rico Lewis, now White, Kyle Walker. And now he drops it infield and he's Bernardo Silva, who twists and turns well. He throws the ball inside the centre circle from Bernardo Silva, drops it to Rico Lewis, back into Bernardo Silva once more, and now Bernardo Silva will just look to move the ball around, and he's back here now with John Stones for Manchester City, who will take his time and find Nathan Ake, will look to get the ball forward. Will Ake, yes, into Bernardo Silva, inside the centre circle and drops it back to the centre back Ake, into defensive midfielder Rico Lewis inside the centre circle, inside his own half, and he drops it back to John Stones. Again, John Stones recently called up to the latest England squad, with Kyle Walker also in there, and Phil Foden too, as Ake wins a free kick there, foul on him by Gabriel Jesus inside the opening 2 minutes of the game. Is Arsenal 0, Manchester City 0. Pep Guardiola trying to force out some instructions to his Man City players ahead of what's going to be a fantastic match. Just to tell you, the referee is Michael Oliver today, and he's a good referee compared to what we've had in previous weeks. And let's hope today, Bruno, in a game of this magnitude, we don't see another VAR decision like we saw last week, as here comes Rico Lewis. And I'm talking about the Tottenham game against Liverpool last week. And here's Rico Lewis now coming forward. Out wide, it goes there to Kyle Walker. Back into John Stones, who finds Bernardo Silva. Back to Stones again. And Alvarez loses out as Arsenal just pick up the ball, and with Jorginho drop it back to David Raya, who now finds Ben White, who takes a touch and another touch, and then back to David Raya, who will look to get the ball away under pressure from Phil Foden. When he clears it away, gives it to Josko Gvardiol, who comes forward for Manchester City, plays the ball inside. Declan Rice is there to tidy up. Away from his England teammate Phil Foden, who pushed out for a throw-in to Manchester City. Here does Declan Rice. We'll keep you updated and tell you how the other results got on earlier on. Today's a ball is chested down by Zinchenko, where the ball had already bounced out for a corner to Man City. And this is good pressure from Man City after also having a bit of early possession, Bruno. Do you think they could profit from this corner?
Yeah, good start from Manchester City, dominating the ball as we'd expect, and winning an early corner. Manchester City is so dominant from set pieces. They're so good on the ball and on the floor, but set pieces are a massive part of their game as well.
Yes, and Steve just had one cleared off the line. Fantastic. Josko Gvardiol was in round the back. It's been a fan. Nathan Ake. And oh my word, Nathan Ake has fired it over the top of the crossbar. And somehow City haven't taken the lead there from that corner. It was whipped in. Josko Gvardiol had one cleared off the line by Declan Rice. He breaks on the edge of the penalty area, headed back in by Stones. He flicks for Ake, who can't keep his header down. His effort down. After a fantastic goal line clearance from Declan Rice's block off Gvardiol, and then Nathan Ake being under his spell well, and then fires it over under pressure from Saliba. That's a glorious opportunity, and Arsenal could have found themselves 1-0 down. We'll get Bruno Sosa online in a moment, as Arsenal on the attack now. We'll wait for this Arsenal throwing to be taken, and then get the thoughts of Bruno from that Manchester City chance a few moments ago, as here comes Saliba now for Arsenal inside to Zinchenko, likes to cut inside and going to that midfield area, does Alexander Zinchenko. And these City players, apart from Erling Haaland, will know all about that, having played with him for a few seasons, and he's had to play for a throw to Arsenal. Now 5 minutes gone here, Bruno, and Manchester City almost scoring there, but good defending from Rice, but then Ake should have really punished them on the replay.
Yeah, massive chance for Manchester City. For all their dominance on the floor, it comes from a set piece. David Raya caught in no man's land, really, and Declan Rice with a brilliant headed clearance off the line. And then Nathan Ake is not really the player you want through on goal, shooting with his left foot over the crossbar.
Yes, Bruno, I couldn't believe it when I saw that miss there from Nathan Ake. It was, for me, I know you may not have seen it, but I was watching the Leeds game yesterday against Bristol City. Not much happening. Edison just has the ball here. I'll just mention this. Ball came into Jorginho Rutter, and it was right on the couple of yards out. He should have put Leeds in front there, and he blazed it over the bar, luckily for him, a few moments later, Leeds did take the lead through Dan James. But that miss there from Ake reminded me of that one from Jorginho Rutti yesterday, with how big a miss it was and how big a chance it was in completion of the game early on in both matches there. But let's hope that chance there from Nathan Ake doesn't come back to bite Manchester City on the backside, as Ederson now has possession. Across to Nathan Ake now, and here's Josko Gvardiol down the line. It goes. Wonderful bit of playing. He's out for a throw into Arsenal, which they want to go on with quickly. It's obviously just to run back to try and block off a route. Foden does the same. Jorginho telling Nketiah to come inside and come towards the edge of the box, but he goes back to Saliba instead. Ben White, as no options were moving in front of him. Now into Declan Rice. And back to William Saliba on the near side as we watch. Across now into the field of Gabriel, who will take a touch and play the ball forward. How wide it goes there? Well, into Alexander Zinchenko, and he gives the ball away to Manchester City. And here they come again now, City. Wonderful play from them as they look to get the ball forward, but they've been forced back to Ederson to start to get on this near left-hand side with Nathan Ake. Down the line, it goes into the path of Josko Gvardiol, who is fouled. According to him, the referee says no. Ake clears the ball away. Gabriel Jesus trying to get forward. Then Allen trying to get him behind William Saliba, who slips. Allen get there, but can't. And now Jorginho can fetch the ball away for Arsenal. Into Zinchenko, up towards halfway. Alexander Zinchenko can fetch this ball forward. It's a fast-paced start to this Premier League encounter, which sees Manchester City and Arsenal go to the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal being the home side, City being the visitors today. And here is a good bit of movement from Arsenal. That's a fantastic ball to pick out Gabriel Jesus from Jorginho there. And here comes Jesus into the box. Shot taken, a deflection off Gvardiol. And that's a fantastic ball into Jesus there. And try and call catch Man City out. Up against his former club is Gabriel Jesus. He wanted to put one over on his former club. City had a big chance and wasted a few moments ago. Arsenal now with a big chance themselves to try and score from this corner. We'll wait and see what happens with this corner, as Martin Odegaard will take in towards the penalty area, arm aloft. And now his arm's gone down, arm back aloft again. As he's from this near side of the left. Corner is whipped in from Martin Odegaard in towards the penalty. Heads go up, is cleared away by Phil Foden, but only up into the air. Rice challenging for it on the edge of the box. Foden just helps it away towards Rico Lewis, and City can't break. It's also just keeping them penned inside their own half at this moment in time. As it's Jorginho. Good ball into Saliba, back into Jorginho again, who chips it over the top looking for Ben White, was onside. Down this near side of the left for Arsenal. Or near our left. Here's Odegaard. Into Jorginho, out wide to their far left hand side. And Zinchenko. Jorginho has it back now. Chips it out wide to Ben White. And White is flagged offside there, but Arsenal started to press now against this Man City defence and look to causing a few problems. Do you think this could be a big... Do you think that could cause him a few problems, the switches from midfield out wide to both the right and the left Bruno today?
Yeah, better from Arsenal, getting a bit of possession, moving the ball on the floor. And those wide areas are going to be key for them. Manchester City, certainly their left-back area, Josko Gvardiol, he is more of a natural centre-back. But as is Ben White on the right wing, and Gabriel Jesus, we probably think of him more as a number 9 ahead of a right winger. So it's going to be interesting to see that battle, certainly on the right wings. But Jorginho, as a deep line playmaker, is able to find those balls, and with excellent passing accuracy, he can get it out wide well.
Yes, as Arsenal have just conceded a free kick there and a yellow card for a foul on Phil Foden. They're just trying to see who it was on Phil Foden. I think it may have been... Yes, it was. It was Jorginho who went into the referee's no but there. And a few comments in. Mr. Wing just said, hello, Russ and Bruno, doing the rounds. Thought I'd listen in. Thank you very much for doing so. And he also says he reckons it's going to be 3-2 to City. We'll get Bruno's prediction on this mouth-watering game. And Isabel was at Reeves. Thank you very much, Isabel. So that's what this game has got. What has Leeds got to do with this game? I was just referring to the misses from Ake, to the one from Jorginho Rutter in the Leeds game yesterday. Isabel, I was just comparing those two incidents together. 'Cause for me, those incidents are comparable. There, in my opinion, from what I saw yesterday to what I've seen so far in this game. And Bruno Mr. Windows said he reckons it's going to be a 3-2 victory for Manchester City. Not missing much as Arsenal just have it with Zinchenko inside their own half and knock it around well to Saliba. And now who finds Gabriel. But Mr. Wynn says it's going to be 3-2 to Manchester City today, Bruno. If I were to put you on the spot right now and ask you for your prediction for this game, what are you going to go for?
Yeah, well, 3-2 would be a very good scoreline and a very interesting game. It's funny because we usually see these sort of top of the table clashes as quite close, quite tense and nervy, and usually a stalemate, so usually a low scoring draw. But it does seem as if both sides have come out to play. And I do think there could be an array of goals here. So I think 3-2 for Manchester City. I'm probably going to agree with that.
Yes, and our producer, if you want to get your thoughts in as well, our producer today, who is helping us produce this show and directing us in my ear as well, let us know what you think to the scoreline prediction today. And he also agrees that Ake should have scored with that chance earlier on, as is Rico Lewis now for City. Good bit of play this as Alvarez just turns away from his man. Back to Rico Lewis, who will look to get the ball forward. Here's Diaz now for City, who gives the ball away. So now he's back with David Raya, who can fetch this ball forward. Here's William Saliba now for Arsenal, who's been closed down by Erling Haaland, who has to go all the way back to David Raya. And Jorginho drops it back to Raya, and he finds Gabriel, who clears up looking for Eddie Nketiah to chase. It breaks for Kyle Walker. Walker does well to hold up the play and drop the ball back to Ruben Dias, and now it is Nathan Ake. And now it is Mateo Kovacic, who's just bringing this ball forward. Here's the run of Bernardo Silva. And now Kovacic has it again on halfway, and just inside his own half. And he plays it 1-2 with Bernardo Silva again. Across now to John Stones on the right-hand side of the Man City defence. Into the centre circle, and he sends back on Nathan Ake, who's got Walker out wide on the right-hand touchline, hugging that touchline basically. No one on him, but he goes to John Stones instead, who can potentially find him. But he goes long in towards Phil Foden, and David Raya claims it with comfortable ease. And now here comes Arsenal again with Ben White, the former Leeds United loanee, into Gabriel Jesus, and it's out of play for a throw-in to Arsenal. Good pressure this from Arsenal since the opening start. And no, Isabella, cheers for getting involved, and hopefully you're enjoying the coverage this evening or this afternoon or this morning, depending where you are in the world. Let us know what you're doing, Isabel, while you're tuned in and listening to this game. And if anyone else wants to let us know what you're tuned in for, where you're tuning from, and what you're doing while listening to this game, feel free. You can do so by getting involved in the comments, or also via our Twitter handle or X handle, which is now known as Commentary Live 1. Tweet us there, and I'll pick up those at half time, as it is Saliba now for Arsenal. And towards the 15th minute mark, Arsenal 0, Man City 0. And here is Declan Rice. Drops it into William Saliba. And now here is Martin Odegaard, who flicks it away and gives the ball away as Ake intercepts. Now Ruben Dias is there. Earlier I did mention John Stones, but John Stones is on the bench. It was Ruben Dias who I meant to be saying. So for the confusion there. He just he was in the sunny area of the pitch, couldn't quite work out who he was, and then just looked at the team sheet again and realised it was Ruben Dias who had the ball over there, not John Stones. Stones is on the bench for City today. And now it is Rico Lewis back to Nathan Ake, who can fetch this ball forward for City. Looks to go towards the left to Gvardiol, but instead inside the centre circle to Bernardo, on to Ruben Dias. Can get the ball forward. Here is Julian Alvarez. Overruns it as Jorginho nips in, but Alvarez gets the ball back. He's out wide to Kyle Walker, who's onside. Walker delivers a wonderful ball in, but too near the goalkeeper, David Raya there. and he claims it well, and City chance goes begging there, but City going to get back on top in this game. Bruno looking to cause Arsenal a few problems down the wings. Do you think that where the key battles could be the midfield area, or do you think it could be both right wing for Arsenal, left wing for City, and right wing for City, left wing for Arsenal? Do you think those where the key battles are going to be, or do you think it could be more of the centre of the key battles as Arsenal have it back with David Raya? And City goes down, and oh my word, City almost profits. Julian Alvarez, we'll get to your points in a moment there. The question I was asking you there, Bruno, in a moment, but City almost profiting from a poor mistake from Arsenal. They closed them down well, forced them into an error. David Raya tried to clear the ball away. It takes Julian Alvarez, and luckily for Arsenal and Raya, he goes the wrong side of the post. But that's what shows what you can do when you close down oppositions like that, Bruno.
Yeah, and Aaron Ramsdale will be licking his lips looking at that nearly costly mistake from David Raya. To go back to your earlier point on the wings, it's interesting because Kyle Walker seems to be the only natural fullback in this game out of all four. But the wingers aren't exactly natural wingers either, with the exception of Leandro Trossard. So it is an interesting battle on the wings. We know that Manchester City like to keep the ball and play down the middle, but they can be devastating when they get the ball on the byline. Arsenal, seemingly with sort of Gabriel Jesus and Leandro Trossard playing on the flanks, look more to play out down the middle as well through the midfield and use Declan Rice's power and pace to power their way through Manchester City.
Yes, and an interesting point here from Isabel as well. She reckons the key battles says will definitely be the middle. Haaland and Alvarez against the defenders for Arsenal, and she says the same for Jesus and Nketiah against City defenders as well, and that could be a point as well. Odegaard likes to get forward, who can cause a few problems for teams' defences as well. So good point you've made there, Isabel. Thank you for. You can keep listening if you want, Isabel. And if it's the first time you're here, Isabel, you can do one of these as well, where you can hit that subscribe button down below, and also hit the like button as well if you can. And it'll be very interesting for you to see on more of our videos in the future. And if you're on the Commentary Hub or Commentary Hub 2, come across to the Turton Talks football channel and subscribe over there as well if you want, Isabella. If you over at Turton Talks Football, where we're broadcasting today from, come over to the Commentary Hub, search for the Commentary Hub 2, and give us a follow and a subscription over there, and turn on the notifications so you know when we go live with any commentaries in the future as well. If this is your first time here, you're very much welcome to join us. It's for all ages and genders, our channel, and hopefully we'll get our female colleague on board. Ollie shortly. Here comes Ruben Dias, who can try and get the ball forward for City, but he runs harmlessly out of play for a goal kick to Arsenal. Poor pass there in the end. As Luke is on. Hopefully you're doing okay, Luke. Thank you very much for listening today. Yeah, no problem, Isabel. That's fine. Just search in the bar on YouTube the Commentary Hub. Also search the Commentary Hub 2, and you can subscribe. There will be on Commentary Hub 2. I'll probably put a few more videos and what we do on the Commentary Hub and the Turton Talks football channel, but keep a look out there as well. And Luke is on, who's one of our good friends. He says, afternoon all, we're all doing good. Yes, all good here, thank you, Luke. Hopefully you are as well, my friend. He says, cagey start so far, but Ray looking shaky so far. We'll get your thoughts on Luke's point in a moment there, Bruno. The ball is over the top, looking for the run of Phil Foden in behind, and that was a wonderful ball over the top. Foden just going to reach it, and now Arsenal can try and come away, but City have won it back fairly. As this Josko Gvardiol in towards Rico Lewis, but Arsenal have got the ball back as City played a loose pass, and then Odegaard plays a loose pass, and now here is Kyle Walker. It's found Ruben Dias, and Dias drops it into the path of Ederson. Good play this from Man City to, when they win the ball back, they're not going for the juggler straight away. They'll pass it around to the back and get the goalkeeper some involvement, who's not really been involved in this game much. Ederson is Phil Foden. City have had a lot of possession, and It's mainly Reyes' goal which has been peppered so far. Nothing much on the goals from the City goal from Arsenal as of yet. I wonder if Arsenal will be able to change that later in the game. As it is Rico Lewis for City inside the Arsenal half, midway inside the Arsenal half, back into the centre circle, and Bernardo Silva, and he almost gets away with that one as he found Ake's Odegaard came sliding in. Here's Joshua Gvardiol back into Nathan Ake, who can play left back. He has done that before for Manchester City. Here is Phil Foden back to Nathan Ake. Foden has been told to come for it again, but instead he plays in Joshua Gvardiol. Does Nathan Ake? Gvardiol's onside, whips the ball in, comes off the legs of Saliba back to Gvardiol, comes all the way across to Ruben Dias, who had to run a bit further than he wanted to get on the ball. Bernardo Silva drops back into keep the ball and the attack alive, but City lose out, and Nketiah is fouled by Bernardo Silva, and Bernardo Silva goes into the book, and that's already about 3 or 4 players in the book already in this match. And with challenges like that, Bruno, you can't get away with challenges like that, sliding in from the side, getting none of the man, well, getting none of the ball, should I say, taking all of the man, and that's a deserving yellow card for me for Bernardo Silva. What do you make to that challenge there from Bernardo Silva? Bruno's Arsenal get ready to take the free kick.
Yeah, a definite yellow card from Bernardo Silva, and a bit of respite now for Arsenal. They really needed that. They haven't been on the ball too much in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Manchester City starting to stamp their authority on the game once more, but now Arsenal can just take a breather and try and move the ball around themselves.
Yes, it is Bernardo Silva entering the penalty area. Alwadi he goes, ball across it towards the penalty area from Julian Alvarez. Brings back to him on the right hand side. Alvarez still going, keeps in towards the penalty area for Rico Lewis, and his ball up into the area is claimed well by David Raya there, and that's a bit of good play again and good pressure from Manchester City, forcing an error on Declan Rice. Bernardo Silva dropped it out wide to Julian Alvarez, who did well to get the ball back into the box after initially losing it, and then it came to Rico Lewis, who was trying to get the ball across towards Erling Haaland, who read that situation well and cleared it to Edson. When we get another breaking play or next stoppage in play, I'll run you through some of the earlier scores in today's Premier League action. If you missed those games earlier, no, one of the games that I watched was a cracking game, and we'll tell you about what that scoreline was later. Bruno saw another cracking game as well earlier on today, which we'll talk about as well. As here comes City will clear the ball forward. Wonderful header away, and it breaks into the path of Arsenal, who come forward with Jorginho's doing the defensive midfield role, and Declan Rice, who's supposed to be his midfield partner tonight, or this afternoon or morning, depending where you tune in from, he's playing a bit further forward, which sometimes when he's got the likes of Calvin Phillips, who's on the bench for City today alongside him for England, Declan Rice, Rice only pushes forward like he's doing today for Arsenal. And here's Gabriel Jesus now from Odegaard. His pass. Jesus holds up the flip, finds Odegaard again. Odegaard out wide to Jesus. Infield now to Jorginho, chips the ball over the top, looking for Jesus on the side. Gabriel Jesus is in. Jesus hits the post, but the free kick had been given. Foul on Nathan Ake inside the penalty area there, and the referee pulled the flag up for a foul. It was on Phil Foden actually, nudging in the back, definite free kick, and City get away with one there as Jesus also crashed it against the post against his former club there as well. And the earliest scores in the Premier League was Brighton 2, Liverpool 2, West Ham 2, Newcastle 2, and Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Aston Villa 1. Wolves finishing that game with 10 men after a red card in the second half to Mario Lemina in stoppage time for that one. And Villa, who have been hearing, hit the post with the last kick of the game. As this, Eddie Nketiah out of the penalty for Arsenal. Eddie Nketiah across the field. Eddie Nketiah shoots, and just wide from the former Leeds loanee. Eddie Nketiah, the recently England international, senior international that is, breaks into the penalty on the left-hand side and killed a wonderful shot just for way wide the far post end. Fantastic bit of skill from Eddie Nketiah, but the finish was all off, and there was never troubling Edison there in the City goal. It remains Arsenal 0, City 0, and City getting away with one there. Here's Rico Lewis now, getting under pressure as Jesus comes forward. Was a foul on Rico Lewis by Julian Alvarez. Back inside his defensive third. And City just can have a bit of a respite with Edison having the ball now, but they seem to be causing a few problems now. City, Bruno, in the last few minutes, and Arsenal causing a few problems as well. What do you make to? Have you seen this opening 27 minutes in this game so far for you, Bruno?
Well, it's been an interesting one. No side has really been able to completely stamp authority and take control of the game for a long period of time. Arsenal, with one of their better chances of the game, there's Zinchenko with a nice ball to Nketiah, but the shot was well wide in the end. It really needs one player, sort of playmaker, maybe Martin Odegaard, maybe Bernardo Silva, to just take the game by the scruff of the neck and produce a bit of brilliance that we know that they are capable of.
Yes, it is Jesus on the right-hand side of the Arsenal box, and as they attack the City penalty area away to our left, away to our right-hand side in this first half. It's Arsenal 0, City 0, and they're coming forward again. Jesus and Ben White just knocking. Ben White getting there just this time, and now it's Odegaard who's fouled from behind by Mateo Kovacic, and he's going to go into the referee's notebook. Now Mateo Kovacic, and that's Jorginho Silva, and now Odegaard into the book. Now for challenges like that, and you can't get away with challenges like that. VAR around, but he's come from him in behind, straight into the back of his leg. That's a definite yellow card there for Mateo Kovacic on Martin Odegaard, and Kovacic goes into the referee's notebook there, and that is a definite yellow card. I wonder whether VAR checking this, Bruno, for a potential red card here, and do you see this being a potential red card?
I mean, it's a very late challenge, and I probably don't see it as a red. I don't see the foot as probably high enough down the Achilles, the heel area to warrant a red. But it was a very, very silly and risky challenge from Mateo Kovacic. It's one of those that sort of brushes the line between yellow and red. But I think, given that the on-field decision was a yellow card, I think that's what will be held up.
Yes, if VAR still checking it, I believe, and he said just a yellow card has been given to Mateo Kovacic, no red card given there, and I think, Bruno, like you, that was the correct decision in the end from the match officials. And Isabel was on saying Arsenal are taking way too long to move the ball. They would punish soon if they carry on, and I do agree with that. And she also says VAR being around isn't a positive. It needs scrapping, and she says that one there was a yellow for her, and that's what the referee is giving him. Lucas said he loves Odegaard's passion. And Paul, who's our producer today, will get his Flintis. We'll read his out next time we get a stoppage in play, as we have a stoppage in play now. There's a free kick to Arsenal, foul on Gabriel Jesus, and Lucas said he loves the passion from Martin Odegaard today. And Bruno, Isabel said they're mentioning about VAR needs scrapping. Obviously, he went under the microscope last week for disallowing the legitimate goal, which was scored by Luis Diaz for Liverpool last week. After this free kick, Bruno, I want to just get your thoughts on VAR, if I may. Do you think we should keep it in the game, or do you think we should let it go? We'll get your thoughts on that. And to the listeners out there, tweet us if you want, at Commentary Live 1, or get involved in the comment section. Should VAR stay, or should it go? As the ball's in towards the penalty from Arsenal's free kick, and Edison just claims it well in the end, and will come to the edge of his own penalty area. as we just see this free kick, then was Trossard, then Odegaard, and then Odegaard actually eventually took it, and he dropped it, but luckily for City, he was able to reclaim and then take them around. But to our listeners out there, and to our producer, VAR, should we keep it or should we scrap it? I'll get Bruno's thoughts in a moment as City win a throw-in on our left hand, on our near side, just down below where we're sitting. And Bruno, for you, VAR stay or VAR go first? For me, with all the decisions that's been made, I don't think it's the technology that's the problem. I think it's the officials that are using it. And I agree with, I think he was one of the pundits on, I think it might have been Soccer Saturday yesterday, mentioned that you should get people trained up for that specific role. We'll get your thoughts on that in a moment. Kyle Walker's had a penalty for City, breaks forward in Alvarez, and he can just clear the ball, and also just manage to clear the ball away. Eddie Nketiah closes down Ruben Dias's ball back towards his own goalkeeper, and Bernardo Silva gets the ball there now. And Bruno, for you, VAR keep or VAR or go?
I think, put bluntly like that, I think VAR should stay. I do think there's a place for it in the game for technology, but to scrap out the key errors in the game, because at the moment we've seen the incompetence of the actual referees, and I think the hope when Howard Webb came in to lead PGMOL was that human error was going to become less and less. But at the moment we're seeing more and more apologies, useless apologies really, from PGMOL to Premier League clubs. But what we just want to see is a bit of consistency and just application of the rules swiftly in what doesn't seem like the most complicated process in the world, certainly from our view as fans. But I do think that there is a place for VAR in the game.
As the ball is played over the top, it is Ireland into Julian Alvarez. Now Alvarez slams up a shot just over the bar into the crowd there from Julian Alvarez, and it was a glorious opportunity for Manchester City to really take the lead there, and it was a wonderful punt forward from Ederson, who found Ireland, who controlled it well, set up Julian Alvarez, but his effort was way over the bar in the end there, and Posters scrap it because much of the decisions are based on interpretation. I agree with that one. Lucas made a really good point in a two-part answer to that, and then follows up with a question to what you've just been saying there, Bruno, and we'll get onto those when next time we get a stoppage in play, and a long stoppage in play. In fact, we may even do it just before we leave for half time, as here comes Arsenal with possession is Saliba. Free kick to Arsenal. Foul on Declan Rice. As we have a stoppage here now, so I can read the force from Luke. Says, Vieira has an idea, is a brilliant concept. The trouble comes with the ruling and leaves it too much to interpretation. Fans need to accept decisions will still be wrong. On the Spurs-Liverpool game, it's more the IFAB rule on stopping and going back to the incidents is more the issue. And then Bruno, he asks you who decides what a key error is. We'll get your thoughts on that, because Isabel's just made a great point back to what Lucas said, and she says, Luke, how can VAR be a brilliant concept? It's creating more problems than it's solving, further highlighting the referee's incompetence with more rules available. And we'll get your thoughts on we'll get your chance to that question in a moment. As Phil Foden has gone down, it's a corner to Arsenal, not a free kick to Manchester City. As Foden went down off the ball there I think someone must have caught him in the eye, maybe even Gabriel Jesus, who just helps him back to his feet there. And we'll just see it here now. It's like catching the face, just trying to palm him off, just going to the ball there from Gabriel Jesus there on Phil Foden. And we'll get your thoughts on that question in a moment, and we'll be interested to hear Luke's response to Isabel in a few moments, as well as the corner comes in from Arsenal. It's up and away from City, only as far as the former City player Zinchenko. Back he goes to Jorginho, chips the ball back up towards Rice, breaks from Martin Odegaard, and Odegaard drops it into the path of Jorginho. Jorginho can get the ball forward. Here's David Raya can clear long downfield. Here's Ben White, exits inside, but City can't keep the ball. But now they've won a throw in, and he's going out for a throw. 36 and a half minutes gone here. It remains Arsenal 0, City 0, and this has been a fantastic game. We're just watching this challenge here on Declan Rice from Mateo Kovacic a few moments ago, and that was a bad decision and a bad challenge for Mateo Kovacic. From sliding in, catching him on the ankle, and he's already been bumped there, Mateo Kovacic. He's got to be careful, otherwise we could see a potential red card for him there, and if City get a free kick, they'll probably not want Kovacic to take it and take too much time over it. I'll explain why in a moment. As here's Gabriel Jesus, balling towards the penalty area. This to the box for Jorginho, onto Leandro Trossard, and now Arsenal just lose out as Erling Haaland can't keep the ball for City. And now Arsenal will come again. Wonderful play from Saliba into the path of Gabriel Jesus. Down the line is Ben White, and he's out of play for a throw-in to Arsenal on this near side. Ben White to take. And looking for options is Ben White. He's got Odegaard and Jesus one way. Jorginho another. He's waiting for a movement to someone for him to come in inside. He's still looking for a movement. He takes it into Jesus inside the penalty area for Odegaard. Edge of the box is Zinchenko's shot is blocked. Actually, then Zinchenko's shot is blocked again. Now Rico Lewis can get City on the way as Haaland goes down on the chance of Saliba. No free kick given, and he's coming back at them. And which I was mentioning that about Mateo Kovacic. If City won't want him to take a free kick and just try slowing the game down, because inside the first half of the City women's match against Chelsea earlier today, Alex Greenwood already on a yellow card for a foul earlier on in the game. City then had a free kick. Greenwood was standing over it. She tried to play the ball forward. That option had been cut off in one of the games I saw earlier today on the way to this game. And then when she saw that option couldn't be taken, she knocked the ball inside, but the referee came up and booked her and gave her a second yellow and sent her off for time wasting inside the 35th minute of the WSL match earlier today. Now here is Julian Alvarez for City in the men's game. Gets the ball in towards the penalty, looking for Erling Haaland, and Arsenal just get the ball away, and then Arsenal counter-attack here with Rice to Jorginho. Under pressure is Jorginho as Alvarez just clears the ball away. Is it Nathan Ake now as City just have the ball in halfway? And Lucas responded to Isabel, which is a really good answer, and I'll probably read that answer out half time for our listeners to hear what Luke's response was to Isabel's point, to his original point. But that's why I was just mentioning that about the Kovacic one Kovacic to take a free kick and to take his time over it, or if he's taking a free kick, to take it very, very quickly, is the aforementioned Kovacic. And he cuts in field away from Odegaard and chips the ball up to Erling Haaland, who controls well. Back into Rico Lewis, off to Phil Foden, and Foden sends Gvardiol away. Josko Gvardiol whips a wonderful ball in just over the head of Erling Haaland. Zinchenko behind for a corner, and I think he's going out for a corner. Is he giving offside? I'm not trying to see where he's getting here, the linesman. He's get a corner in the end, but I thought he'd get a offside in there, and I couldn't see who'd have been offside because Gvardiol went running back towards halfway instead of towards the middle of the area. And some more players starting to move away, but we've now got Diaz inside the penalty area. As the corner is whipped in, heads go up. Arsenal just managed to clear it away. It breaks for Josko Gvardiol again, who will look to get the ball forward again for City. And he works it all the way back this time to Ederson between the sticks. It remains Arsenal 0, sitting earlier on the commentary of the home of alternative commentary, Russ Vernon, alongside Bruno Winter, providing you with the action. As is Gabriel now for Arsenal. Drops it back to David Ray. We're also live on the commentary 2 and Turton Talks Football. Please make sure you subscribe over there. The player match sponsor here on the Up Today, which Bruno will be picking in the second half, is sponsored by the excellent, as always, commentary services run by the absolutely fantastic colleague of ours, Barry Swain, who is a really good friend of mine as well, and was speaking to him the other day on WhatsApp about some of the stuff that he's got coming up and some of the problems that he's been having on another one of our favourite channels, where you can listen to games on the goals as they go in around the grounds on a Saturday afternoon between 3 o'clock for the 3 o'clock kickoffs, as we are not on air during the 3 o'clock kickoffs on Saturday afternoons. So you can go and listen to Football Live over on Brilla FM with the likes of Barry and a former colleague John Kane, amongst others, on there, bringing you some excellent coverage of all the top leagues across Europe every Saturday afternoon. As we have and they've got a dedicated team of reporters over there, way behind the scenes, as the breaking news man like I do here at the commentary hub as well. Nothing much happening, as I talked to you about a fantastic channel that our good friend Barry Swain works on, where he's working this afternoon. He does a really good job over there, and I worked on there in the past. Really good experience. As here comes Man City with possession. This is also a good experience for people like myself and Bruno, Luke and Paul to provide commentary, to showcase our commentary talents, as the ball looking for Rico Lewis is cut out by Alexander Zinchenko, and Zinchenko can fetch the ball forward for Arsenal. On to Leandro Trossard. Here is Jorginho now, and further on is Martin Odegaard. Odegaard has got Jesus out wide, and Pep Guardiola telling his players where he wants them to be. Here's Jorginho now for Arsenal in the centre circle, and now it comes forward. Wonderful bit of play this, as Arsenal will look to attack. They'll be looking to get the ball forward, will Arsenal, if they are to score before the half-time interval. And the ball is out wide now with Zinchenko. On to Leandro Trossard. Here's Declan Rice. Good ball into Eddie Nketiah. Drops it back to Trossard. And Jorginho now to White into Odegaard. Jesus. White again. And now Saliba. Jorginho has it. On to Odegaard. Twisting one way then the other, and plays out wide now. Jesus has got White on the overlap, but Jesus cuts in field. Finds Jorginho into Odegaard. And then Nketiah takes over. Eddie Nketiah still going, but Eddie Nketiah had gone offside, and I'm surprised Odegaard's not having a word with him there. We'll probably wait until he gets to half time. But due to the broadcasting rights in the UK where we are based, Isabel, we can't, not all of our commentators can get the 3 o'clock games live, so we can't feature those games on a Saturday. But if we ever do cover a game on a Saturday at that time slot, our commentators who can get those will do a pre-recorded commentary which will go out on a later date, as we enter 2 minutes of stoppage time. And now here is Ruben Dias into the path of Rico Lewis. We'll get the thoughts of Bruno of this opening 45 minutes in a moment, as we've come up towards a minute of the 2 which has been added left to play. And now it's out wide with Kyle Walker in towards Phil Foden, who goes down, and there's a free kick here. Foul on Gabriel. And now it remains Arsenal 0, Manchester City 0, as we come towards the end of this first half. And there's been a good debate in our chat this afternoon, which is what we'd like to see. We like debates. We don't like people to have a go at each other and cause a few problems or argue each other. We like the good debates from one side does like and one side doesn't like the issues with VAR and situations like that. This is what we do like to see, and it's good that we've got nobody being biased in the chat today regarding a certain team, and that certain team is Burnley. As the half-time whistle goes here at the Emirates Stadium, it's Arsenal 0, Manchester City 0 at the break. And just before we read you some of the comments out on the debate that we've had on VAR in the live chat before we go for half-time, let's just get the thoughts then of Bruno Winter on that first half. And Bruno, been a good first half. Both teams are trying to go for it, but the scoreline remains a 0-0. What's your overall thoughts?
Yeah, just a complete stalemate, really, both sides. They've had their moments, Manchester City, notably with the best chance of the game very early on, the corner, and the missed chance from Nathan Ake. But it just seems as if neither team is really willing to commit too many players forward. They're just happy to keep the ball around their own half and to not create mistakes, which at the moment is not great for the fans. And you'd think that Pep Guardiola will probably be the happier of the two managers, taking a draw and a point away at probably their biggest rivals this season.
Yes, thank you very much, Bruno. We'll just read you some of the comments out on the VAR debate, which Luke come back to the point they said earlier, as we'll bring Bruno back in at the start of the second half. And Luke said to us about the exception from some fans when it came in, and still some think now that it would take away errors from the referees making mistakes. The same refs and now VARs. Problem is, it's just been transferred over to VAR, away from the referee, but giving the referee more help and then with a video is a positive, then he can have another look. The trouble comes when VAR has another person involved in it. She says she understands, but surely if VAR is creating more errors, should I say, surely we should go back to no VAR and just ref decisions. No, she says, and Luke's response says, no, because then we are just accepting the referee's incompetence, which needs to happen. What needs to happen, should I say, is the major bodies need to look at the rules and reassess how they are applied. She says to Luke, the thing is, why can't we get rid of it till it already happens? And Luke responds with, which is a good point here, because then you would have a part of a season with VAR, then bits without, which really isn't fair. He says he thinks VAR works the same as with the referees' decisions when they're evening themselves out over the season. And she says, maybe so, but if getting rid of VAR would improve the game, surely we're doing now. And that's a terrific point as well that you've made there, Isabel. And yes, why would anyone want to be Burnley biased? We've got a commentator on the channel, which you'll hear very short, which here towards back end of the month, called JB John Stuttard, and he's a massive Burnley fan and he always biased towards Burnley, but that's who I'm referring to, who's normally Burnley biased when he does his commentaries on Burnley. And we've had to tell him to calm it down in our platforms where we speak off air. Just a quick roundup of the scores. Again, if you missed them earlier in the Premier League, half time is Brighton 2, Liverpool 2, West Ham 2, Newcastle 2, Wolves 1, Aston Villa 1 are all full times. And in this game is Arsenal 0, Man City 0 at half time. I'll quickly run you through the WSL results to tell you. It was Brighton 0, West Ham 2, Man City 1, Chelsea 1. City finished the game with 9 men in the Women's Super League clash against Chelsea, with Alex Greenwood controversially sent off, and there was a sending off for Lauren Emp in the second half as well, with Guro Wrighton equalising for Chelsea in the 96th minute of the game. Tottenham 3, Bristol City 1, Leicester 1, Everton 0, and the evening kickoff in the WSL is Liverpool against Aston Villa. So at half time here in our Premier League game, and we're back shortly for the second half action. It's Arsenal 0, Manchester City 0. Join myself and Bruno again real soon. Welcome back to the Contrubs coverage as the players are emerging from the tunnel for the start of the second half, where it's Arsenal 0, Manchester City 0 at the break. If you're just tuning in and wondering where Rodri is this afternoon, Rodri is serving the third of his 3-match ban following a red card in one of the previous matches. He's also has already missed the game against Newcastle in the League Cup and Wolves in the Premier League. And we're almost ready for the second half. Arsenal about to emerge from the tunnel, and a question here as well, Bruno, which Luke mentioned. He says Man City missing Rodri in this game. Do you agree with that one from statement from Luke that City are missing Rodri in this match?
I do agree with it, but not just for him and his quality on the ball, but I think it's not allowing Bernardo Silva to get forward as much and to be as creative on the ball. I think that's what both sides need, really, a creative spark in the attacking midfield areas. And with Rodri being out, it's made Bernardo Silva have to sit that little bit deeper with Rico Lewis and Kovacic beside him, who aren't attacking-minded players. But so yeah, I think Rodri's been missed to allow the license for Bernardo Silva to get forward.
Yes, as Gabriel Martinelli is the man who has just come onto the field of play for Arsenal. We're waiting to see who he's replaced. He's replaced Leandro Trossard at the break, and just as one of our listeners, Isabel, was saying, this game needs Martinelli's introduction of injection of pace into this game. She's got her wish as Martinelli has come on for Leandro Trossard at the start of the second half of City are in possession early on. It is Bernardo Silva running up towards halfway as City attack the goal away to our right hand side. Down the line, it's a wonderful bit of play there from Kyle Walker. Alvarez almost closing David Ray down again, and that's the second time this is happening in this game so far. He's got away with it on both occasions before. But I don't think he'd be able to live like that for quite a long time. As the second half is underway with myself, Russ Vernon and Bruno Winter. I'll run you through the sides in a moment as the ball is looped up into the air by Arsenal. Bernardo Silva brings it down as Odegaard nips in ahead of him to win it back, and now it's Gabriel Jesus is onside. Jesus is running down the right wing, cuts in field into Eddie Nketiah edge of the penalty area. It drops back to Jorginho, about 25 yards out into Alexander Zinchenko. Further out wide on this left-hand side to the substitute Martinelli, who takes on Kyle Walker. Goes one way, sees Zinchenko on the overlap, but he goes in field. But then will he go to Zinchenko? He does this time. Alexander Zinchenko goes in field. Back out to Martinelli on this near side of the left. Goes in field, edge of the box, whips the ball into the back post and just wide in the end. But that's a clever little move again from Arsenal. Martinelli with the whipped ball in, and that's so unlucky in the end. From getting on the end of it was Gabriel Jesus, and that's a tremendous ball, and that's the quality Martinelli can bring to this Arsenal side, Bruno.
Yeah, he's more of a direct winger, Martinelli, than anyone else we've got on the pitch, really. He's pacey, he's got a very dangerous left foot, and he's already creating problems for that Manchester City back line.
Yes, it is. Odegaard drops into the path of Jorginho, and out wide it goes to Ben White. Down the line it goes to Gabriel Jesus, who tries to get the cross in. Rivaldo stops it from going for a corner. It's Jesus on the hand. Arsenal force City into a clearance, and Foden clears off the back there of Ben White now for a throw. And as we can now run you through the teams where we've got a break in place. Rearing go through Arsenal. White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Odegaard, Jorginho, Rice, Jesus, Nketiah, Martinelli, with Ramsdale, Kyria, Tomiyasu, Partey, Smith Rowe, Vieira, Havertz, Nelson, the remainder of the bench. Talking now, referring on that partner, will you be said in a moment as is then why? End of this throw in for Arsenal. What can he do here now? He's in towards Jesus, in towards the penalty area, and he's claimed in the end by Ederson in goal for City. With Ederson in goal for City's back four of Kyle Walker, Ruben Diaz, Nathan Ake, and Josko Gvardiol. Rico Lewis, Mateo Kovacic in front of the back four. And there's Bernardo Silva, Julian Alvarez, and Phil Foden behind Erling Haaland. The bench for City is Ortega, Stones, Akanji, Phillips, Grealish, Gomez, Nunes, Bob, and Doku. Michael Oliver is the match referee. With John Brooks on VAR today, and we've not to see VAR today, as is Eddie Nketiah pushed the ball behind for a corner. Well, we did, but didn't really get involved in a changing moment of the game in terms of a major decision. You just checked potential red card and felt the yellow card in the first half to Kovacic was the right call. As Arsenal have a corner. We'll come to Bruno in a moment to see how he thinks this opening five's gone and how he thinks this game is going to go in the second half as Martinelli whips the ball into the penalty area and goes all the way through. Ball's inside the box there. Inside the box. Oh, the goal strikes and just wide in the end from Arsenal. Good play that there from Arsenal. Couldn't take it. The chance. And the chance goes begging for the Gunners. And Arsenal, good lining start to the second half, Bruno.
Absolutely, Arsenal have been by far the better team starting the second half. Much more direct. The introduction of Martinelli has clearly given them that extra impetus going forward. And they just need to carry on this game. And there are goals in this game for them, clearly.
Yes, it is. Martinelli, can he grab them first? No, he can't. Straight into the arms of Ederson. Led in brilliantly by Declan Rice, who slipped to win the ball initially as he took it away from Rico Lewis. Played him in on the left-hand side, getting between Walker and Diaz, and fired a shot towards goal as Diaz came back, and a fantastic save in the end there. You must be, Isabel, if you're a fortune teller, Isabel, if you want to, you don't have to, let our listeners know what the UK lottery numbers are going to be for this Wednesday. If you want to, that is. Like I said, you don't have to. But if you can help people win the lottery, you'll be a friend for life from all of us here on the country. Some of us here just have a go on the lottery. And if you do, please gamble responsibly as well, guys. Here is David Raya for Arsenal. Inside his own penalty area. And Zinchenko tells him to calm it down. So too does Jorginho. And then nudges outside into the D, and it's long looking for Jesus, who challenges with Diaz and Gvardiol out there. And then Foden goes down. Free kick to Manchester City. And Foden will look to take this free kick, will he? Or will he leave it? No, leaves it for Kovacic, who will go back to Nathan Ake. And back to Josko Gvardiol. And now back to Ederson. Ederson inside his own D. On the edge of the D now. And just boots it long up towards Haaland, who flicks the header on. Alvarez wasn't reading that situation well there, and he can't get any of it as Arsenal come forward. Declan Rice finds one of Eddie Nketiah. Wonderful run from Eddie Nketiah, who holds up the play well for the Gunners. We're gunning to win this game today and get towards the top of the table. Good run here, ball in towards the penalty area. Jesus is poor, and he runs through to Ederson. In the end, there remains Arsenal 0, Man City 0. Here comes Kyle Walker now for Manchester City. Walker fetch the ball forward is Lewis. Back to Walker. Now Diaz drops it back to David Raya. And Ederson now, should I say, from City. So then City trying to cause out a few problems here now as here comes Josko Gvardiol up towards halfway. Josko Gvardiol's over halfway. In the centre circle, he play the ball forward looking for Erling Haaland, and Saliba's across there to send it back to Raya. And now Here is Gabriel. And that's good play from Gabriel to Zinchenko. And now Arsenal can play with Ben White. And White will look to come forward here. Plenty of numbers forward for Arsenal if can play this ball right. Jorginho to Zinchenko. Zinchenko goes back to Jorginho. Martinelli making a good forward run. But Uzi spotted out there. Must have been a little mole just popped up wearing an Arsenal shirt out there, because there was no one in a red and white shirt from a playing perspective ever going to catch up with that ball out wide there. And that's poor decision making, which has happened all the time so far, and it remains Arsenal 0, Manchester City 0, and here is a throw-in for City, which will be taken by Kyle Walker, who will look to get the ball forward for City. He goes back to Bernardo Silva, who had to track back there to get it before Eddie Nketiah nipped in. And now he's back with Ederson, who sprays it out wide to Josko Gvardiol, and here's Phil Foden. Foden loses out, and Arsenal have possession. Jesus is down, but Arsenal have advantage. And they're playing on Odegaard in towards Nketiah, who's onside. Eddie Nketiah brings it down well. Holds up the play side of the penalty. Eddie Nketiah gives the ball away to Phil Foden. And now City can try and break. City are coming forward. Phil Foden goes down. Gets back up, and Bernardo Silva just keeps the ball for City into Gvardiol, into Foden. Now he's wonderful way from City into Rico Lewis from Bernardo Silva. And it's men streaming forward. Martinez getting back. And Rico Lewis still going. He's still on his feet. Rico Lewis is through. Rico Lewis has scored. Nothing, the flags are for offside. Ball back for a free kick. It will not count. The free kick had been given. And if Michael Oliver just let that play on a little bit there, Bruno, it could have been it was a perfectly weighted advantage. He brings it back for this foul there. He gets up, runs through, and scores. But he could have played an advantage there. Well, I think the referee's got this one wrong. He could have played an advantage. City scored from it, and he brought it back for the free kick.
Well, thoughts, yeah, I disagree. I do think the referee got it right there, because I think that Rico Lewis only goes through and goal because of the Arsenal players stopping for the whistle. Lewis goes down from the challenge, and I think the referee is well within his rights to blow up, because it did look as if he'd given up on the play. And it was only once the referee had blown the whistle and Arsenal defenders had stopped that Rico Lewis then goes on and scores. So I do think that it was the correct decision to blow up for the foul.
Yes, and City taking the free kick is Kovacic. Ball in towards the penalty area, but no one in sky blue shirt inside the box there. Can end of it is David Raya comes out to claim easily well there. Luke says play on. He's not happy that got brought back. And I don't agree with it either, Luke. Bruno disagrees with us both, but that's there. Both teams, well, us three can have opinions. We don't seem to agree with them.
And also, it did seem as if the ball struck Rico Lewis's hand as he was getting up after the challenge, so it would have been probably ruled out and brought back for the foul anyway. But I just think that the Arsenal defender stopped because of hearing the whistle, and that's the only reason that Rico Lewis went through and goal.
Yes, in comes Josko Gvardiol. And back it goes to Ederson. Luke says he's just biased as he wants a goal, and he says biased in the wanting a goal category, not biased towards one of these two teams, as he is a Nottingham Forest fan for his sins. As he is a wonderful ball. Oh, wow, there to Josko Gvardiol. It was a penalty. It's Phil Foden edge of the box. Julian Alvarez' shot is blocked. Comes away. Breaks it into the path of Kyle Walker. City knocking on the door now. Ake. Gvardiol. Bernardo Silva. City knocking around well. Back into Kovacic, who could have potentially seen a second yellow inside the face-off for the challenge on Declan Rice, but Haaland slips, and which is unlike him, and City have lost possession and Arsenal just have it back now with Ben White. And White will look to get the ball forward. Odegaard back to White. And now Odegaard again. Good play this for Martin Odegaard as he looks to keep the ball moving for Arsenal into Jorginho now. Back to Ben White again. Saliba. David Raya. Under pressure from Haaland. Finds Gabriel and now he's Zinchenko. Back to Gabriel who clears forward. Down the line looking for the run of Eddie Nketiah. Who goes out of play. It'll be a City throw-in. Ake will take and get on with the game quickly as Diaz now has the ball. Ruben Diaz can fetch this ball forward for Manchester City's City 0. It's Arsenal 0, City 0 on 58 close 59 minutes on the clock. 59 minutes just now. Ake to Diaz. Ruben Diaz gets the ball out wide into the path of Walker. Back into Ruben Diaz again. Was all the way back there to Ederson, who will look to keep the ball moving forward as he clears it long downfield. And now is City on possession. Bernardo Silva into Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis is coming forward. Wonderful play this from City as they find Walker now. Who cuts infield from the right hand side. Finds Ruben Diaz. And City are just looking to cause a few problems of their own if they can create a few chances. They've had a lot of the ball today, City, but not really being able to cut open this Arsenal defence as of yet. And Arsenal unable to breach that City backline and put themselves a goal up. An hour on the clock is City 0. Arsenal 0, City 0 here at the Emirates. Here comes Gabriel Jesus over halfway. It's out wide. It goes well. Wonderful play this. Rice drops it back to White. He gets it back to Declan Rice. Finds Jorginho. Jorginho just knocking the ball around well. Good play into Saliba. Back into Jorginho. Now Odegaard. Gabriel coming forward to get involved in the attack. Gabriel into the centre circle. And Saliba. Across now to the back in City half. And Jorginho. He's looking for options. This is the Brazilian. Finds Alexander Zinchenko, the Ukrainian. And he's still got the ball here. Alexander Zinchenko finds Declan Rice down the line. It goes here to Ben White, into Jesus, back into Ben White. Down the penalty area. Martin Odegaard, edge of the box shot comes in. Blocked. Jorginho. Out to Jesus. Push for offside not given. Jesus is there. Zinchenko now. How wide is Martin Odegaard? And now Martinelli. Not Martinelli drops it back to Zinchenko. Zinchenko whips the ball in. Throws the back post. Jesus is in there. White heads it down to Jesus. Jesus gets the ball in. Chips it up. Behind for a corner. And that's good pressure from Arsenal. Just turning the screw now, Bruno. Bruno's not unable to join us just there for a moment. Just appeared to have lost Bruno there for a second. We'll get back to Bruno in a moment. The ball's in towards the penalty. Flicked on from Declan Rice. And go up in City, fetch the ball there. Zinchenko with a shot just over the bar in the end. And Arsenal now, Bruno, beginning to turn the screw and get on the front foot in the game again.
Yeah, better from Arsenal. Attacking a bit more. They'd started the second half really well, then the pressure died down a bit, but set pieces could be crucial. We've struggled to see both sides really create much from open play, so you do wonder if a corner or a lateral free kick is going to be the place for either side to get the goal.
Yes, 0-0 is the scoreline. I wonder if we're going to have a 0-0. Not very often in my days of commentating I've had a 0-0 when I've done a big game like this. Arsenal 0, Man City 0. Here on the commentary, and commentary up 2. Also on Turton Talks Football. Thank you very much for tuning in this afternoon. If you're listening up and down the country and even in foreign countries as well. We're available across the world on YouTube tonight. And I agree with what Isabel said as well. She says Arsenal are looking lost without Saka. Have you noticed that today, Bruno, that Arsenal have looked lost without the outlet of Bukayo Saka as they're trying to close down Ake, and now he's back with Edison. Have you noticed that Arsenal have looked a bit lost of ideas and void of ideas without Bukayo Saka on the field?
Absolutely, certainly on that right wing. Gabriel Jesus, he's not a natural winger. We know that. Bukayo Saka's his silkiness,
break off
his
a moment,
pace.
Bruno. As here comes City on the attack. Next towards Kyle Walker. Now on this near right hand side. We'll get back to that point in a moment. Bruno, what you were just saying there after this attack from City is Bernardo Silva into Rico Lewis. Going one way, he finds Kovacic. Bernardo Silva drops it back to Ake. As City build again. Now Kovacic once more. What can Kovacic do on this attack here for City? Bernardo Silva. Can he line up a shot here? No, he goes instead to Ruben Dias to try and force an opening. Here's Rico Lewis now. Lewis going one way. He then goes the other. Now Kovacic. Foden. Bernardo Silva into Ruben Dias. Dias whips the ball in. But passes. Headed behind by Beckman for a corner. And while we wait for this corner kick to be taken, we'll go back to your point on Saka.
Yeah, I think Arsenal just look a bit toothless on the right wing. Saka's such an influential player for them and for the national team as well. And they've just missed his quality in the final third. Manchester City don't really look too scared of any one Arsenal player. And I think that is due to Bukayo Saka's absence.
Yes, corner then for Arsenal on the City then on the left-hand side. Walling towards a penalty area, punched away by David Raya as City get the ball back with Walker, puts a eye-looping ball back towards his own goal for Edison to control on his chest and find Bernardo Silva. City will look to start again and get back into the areas. Here's Bernardo Silva who's taking his time on the ball. I was surprised no Arsenal player came to close him down there with him being on the ball for a section or two. I think Holland's so quiet because Arsenal's defensive being able to marshal him well. When City have got the ball, they've not really been able to get it into him because of how well the two centre-backs of Saliba and Gabriel have watched Haaland today so far. And I think that's probably why he's been so ineffective or quiet, whichever you want to call it, Luke. But for me, he's not been able to gain the ball much because of the good play from the Arsenal defence today for me, Bruno. What do you make to why we have not seen much of Erling Haaland and why he's quiet? We'll get your thoughts on that after this City attack. Is City about to make a triple substitution shortly? John Stones is one of them to come on. Matheus Nunes, the other, it looks like. Can't work out who that third one was. As here's Rico Lewis now. Wonderful play to Phil Foden. Is the man mentioned Haaland. Back to Foden. Into the penalty area it goes. Saliba just and wide get the ball away with Jesus' help. And is out for a throw-in to Manchester City. We'll get this. Out for a throw-in to Arsenal. City make a substitution as Rico Lewis is being replaced by John Stones here as City is one of City's first changes in this game. Second is Mateo Kovacic. He's off for Matheus Nunes, which is not what we'd like to see. So Matheus Nunes on in place of Mateo Kovacic. And the third and final change in this game sees Julian Alvarez come off and Jeremy Doku come on. Are you surprised by the number of changes City have made in the players who have gone off for the players who have come on, Bruno, or was you expecting those sort of changes in this game?
Well, I think Pep needs to refreshen the side. I don't think that any of those players have been particularly influential so far for Manchester City. Kovacic, obviously, I think was probably one foul away from a second yellow card, and that was a smart decision. And I mean, I saw Jeremy Doku play against West Ham.
Yeah,
In his
break up for a
first
minute.
Premier
This
League
is
start.
Doku. Jeremy Doku inside the penalty for City up against Zinchenko, and Zinchenko just absolutely fantastically well to clear the ball back to us. Who gets it up towards halfway, and City will come again with Kyle Walker. Here is the formation. John Stones. Can he try and find the man who we've just been talking about, Jeremy Doku? Finds Bernardo Silva, who just find Jeremy Doku. Jeremy Doku attacks well, goes one way then the other. Doku, low ball in, cleared away. On this first Diash. Now Walker. Back to Ruben Diash again. Across now to Nathan Ake. Ake gets it out wide there. Well, he gets it back, does Nathan Ake, and he's coming forward again. Wonderful play from Nathan Ake as he looks to get the ball forward. He drops it all the way back to Ake again. Now Diash can look for an option. Bernardo Silva to John Stones. Stones now gives the ball away. Now Arsenal can break. Here's Martin Odegaard going one way. Then they have to turn and go the other. Finding Ben White. Good play from Ben White into Declan Rice. And Jorginho has the ball, drops it all the way back there to William Saliba. And now it's back with Jorginho again. And back he goes to William Saliba again as Arsenal just knocked the ball around well. Jorginho back to William Saliba. Now Gabriel looking to try and find Zinchenko. He says he has to go back to Saliba, and again those two playing a 1-2 good possession-based football. And now Martinelli comes short to Richard, but Walker's nipped in illegally according to the referee, and is a throw-in to Manchester, and is a free kick to Arsenal. Foul by Kyle Walker, and I'm surprised by the referee with the challenge that he has made him above the players for. He's not yet got a yellow card out to show Kyle Walker there. And it'd be interesting to see what sort of game these three changes that Arsenal about to make will make a difference on. And it's Takeru Tomiyasu, Thomas Partey and Kai Havertz about to come on for Arsenal. Very, very interested to see who Mikel Arteta brings off in the end. I wonder if he'll bring anyone off in the end this afternoon, as we see Ake on possession inside the centre circle. Odegaard closing him down, and Nketiah closing down Diash. It works for Walker into Doku. Walker can't get back on it as Doku loses out. Now Odegaard gives the ball away. And that's poor play from Arsenal in the midfield area, which is where we thought one of the key battles may have been today, which is not proved to be the case. It remains Arsenal 0, City 0 as we bring you this game into the final 18 minutes of this match. It remains 0-0. If you just trying to see it on the commentary, Russ Vernon alongside Bruno Winter, providing you alternative off-tube remote commentary of this game from the Premier League as we fetch this ball forward. Wonderful play this has been. Arsenal looking to cause a number of problems and get the ball moving forward. Good play this in the end, as now here is Nathan Ake. What can Nathan Ake do here? He'll look up. He'll look for options to try and get movement in and around the areas which can cause problems for this Arsenal side. The Arsenal subs are still waiting to come on. That's Tomiyasu, Partey and Havertz. This is Jeremy Doku over on our left hand side now. Jeremy Doku runs down the left wing in towards the penalty. Doku puts the ball in. It's cut behind. It's going to be a corner to City. And this is good play, this, from Manchester City to win that corner there through Jeremy Doku. And that's a good bit of skill and a good bit of running. And that's going to be a good game and a good way to how this game will finish as 1, 2, 3, 4 City players inside the penalty area. 5 and everything include Ireland, along with Dias, Ake, Stones, Gvardiol, all inside the penalty area. Mateus Nunes will take Stones on the goalkeeper, but he moves away. This ball comes in and Ray comes and claims it with comfortable ease, and he'll look to then release Zinchenko quickly, and he does so. Zinchenko's gone on the overlap and he drops into his path, and that's a wonderful pass. Martinelli takes it away from one against Kyle Walker. Nutmegs Bernardo Silva and gets away from Walker that way. Sprays into Odegaard. Martin Odegaard. Shot coming in and over the bar, and in the end, nothing spectacular about that shot as he goes over the bar in the end. And City really can't cause a few problems as Alexander Zinchenko is been the first change for Arsenal, and he's been replaced by Takiro Tomiyasu, who is a right back by trade, Tomiyasu, but can fill in at left back if needed. Eddie Nketiah is the other man coming off, and he's been replaced by Kai Havertz. So Havertz, the German, goes through the middle, or it could be pushing Jesus through the middle. As Jorginho is the other one coming off for Thomas Partey. And are you surprised by any of those changes, Bruno, with how long we've got left, with 15 minutes left on the clock? Are you surprised that Arsenal have left it this late to make a triple substitution after the one that they did at half time?
Yeah, well, I mean, they all look like for like changes, so I don't think it's particularly the defensive or offensive changes from Arteta. But I think it's just fresh legs in there. I think he'll probably be quite happy with the second half performance. I think they've probably been the better side, just shaded it for me since the break. And now he just wants some fresh legs in the middle of the park, especially with Partey and Havertz to try and grab that first goal.
Yes, but it could be City who grab the first goal, but they've lost out of possession, and Arsenal will come now with White out wide to Gabriel Jesus, who's still out on that right hand side. Now he's in towards the penalty area, still going Arsenal. He waits for Nunes to clear to Doku, and Doku wriggles away from one player, couldn't get away from the second, and Arsenal now. And back here is Martin Odegaard, with Doku nips in behind for a corner, this is. And the Arsenal fans again behind their team here. It remains 0-0 between the two sides here on the commentary hub, and we're just seeing some shocking news about a former City player, and I think he played for Arsenal as well. I'll mention it after this corner for Arsenal. So he's whipped it right under the nose. Havertz flicks on, Doku it away. As far as Partey to Rice. Now Odegaard back to Rice. And Rice can't keep the ball in place. Doku can fetch the ball away. And he's either played for a throw-in in the end. And Arsenal fans are having a go at Sami Nasri for some reason or another. This is an headline that has just reached us here at the commentary up, and also on Tate and Talks Football. It remains 0-0. If you're just joining us here on the commentary up to all JB Sport, all Tate Talks Football. Hopefully we'll be back soon on JB Sports and Storm FM, who are our official broadcast partners. Tate Talks Football is our interim partner for this season. We didn't think we'd need an interim partner this season, but turns out we did. And here is Thomas Partey. into the path of Declan Rice, who will look to get the ball forward. Rice says it's out wide. Waits for Martinelli. It was a penalty here for Martinelli towards Jesus, who fetches down well on his chest. Jesus does well. What can Jesus do with it here? And he gives the ball away to Doku, who wins the ball back, but illegally according to the referee. And in the end, it remains 0-0. And Bruno, the question I want to ask you, and the question I want to ask our listeners as well out there, so feel free to get in touch. Do you see a goal being scored in this game this afternoon?
Well, I couldn't really say where the goal would come from, to be honest. So at the moment, I'm leaning towards a 0-0 because we just haven't seen enough quality in the attacking third. We sort of need that one player to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and produce a moment of star quality. Could that be Martin Odegaard, Bernardo Silva, Erling Haaland? We went to see these last 10 or so minutes, but it's just the game is just crying out for one brilliant through pass or one exceptional shot or cross, which at the moment doesn't seem like it's coming from either side.
Yes, and to our listeners and our producer, a one-word answer. Will we see a goal in this game? Yes or no? Go. And if
I'm going to say no.
okay, Bruno, there's your one-word answer to that as well there. Thank you very much. And here comes Rodri. Good play into the path of Walker. Now Dias into the path of Nunes. And now City just knocking the ball around with comfortable easier. What's Nunes going to do with it? He finds Ruben Dias back into Nunes. Mateus Nunes drops into Nathan Ake. Back it goes to Ruben Dias. Producer, if you want to say your answer, let us know in the chat. Will we see a goal in this game? And Bruno, in around about 5 or so minutes, I'll be getting you to give us our player of the match. So in around about 2 minutes, could you send it over in the to the producer? We can get ready to put it up on the screen when we do come and ask you yourself. So get your thinking cap on there, my friend. As here comes Gabriel Martinelli. There's so much quality on show, but without little quality in the actual game, I can't really see who you could potentially be picking for a player of the match. I think it could be an odd choice for us, and I'm glad he's not me who's having to do that job today.
Yeah, it's a tough one. There's no been one real standout player, so you're gonna have to think one.
Yeah, I'll have to think quite hard on that one, Bruno. As here comes Phil Foden, and he gives the ball to Jesus, and now Nunes wins the ball back. Now here comes City. Here is Bernardo. Good play this. Wonderful play is Walker back into Nunes. Good play from Nunes in to find Ruben Dias. And now Dias is just controlling the ball well. And it's a good play this from City to keep the ball well. And just laughing at the comment from Luke, he says, I think the live chat should get player of the match today. More quality in here than on the pitch, Luke reckons today. But it's got to be a player on the pitch.
I completely agree. Yeah, I completely agree with Luke there.
But I think I do agree with Luke as well, to be fair. But as ever, you've got to pick a player who on that pitch this afternoon. I'm afraid, mate. You can't be picking one of those players. As we see Erling Haaland gets the ball under his control. Plays for Phil Foden. He goes behind. It will be a goal kick, I think, to Arsenal. The players are shaping up like it's a goal kick. I wasn't sure whether he took a deflection on the way through. And we've had one shot on target from both of these sides today, Bruno, and 11 shots to Arsenal, 4 for City. Touches in opposition box, 22 for Arsenal, 15 for City. City just edged possession. When you look at the stats, And compared to the game, it doesn't feel like we've had that many shots on, that many attempts on target, does it?
No, it's really just been defences on top for pretty much for the whole game, except Manchester City chance from a corner in the first few minutes. There's really just been no clear-cut chances of any note. And as a fan, that is rather disappointing in a game which was given so much build-up to. There's just been a complete stalemate. But we'll see if the last few minutes can muster something up.
Yes, I wonder if we'll see a late goal in this game as we get ready for the closing stages. I wonder what we'll do with this game today as we see this ball moving forward. It's out of play for a throw into Arsenal, and Arsenal still keeping on the pressure. And that's a wonderful throw. Just down inside the penalty. Martin Odegaard's in for Arsenal. Can he see up a teammate? Martin Odegaard. Gabriel Jesus, he goes down inside the penalty area. No penalty given. No penalty has been given there. I think VAR may be checking this though. And is this a penalty? Is this a penalty for Arsenal? Oh, it could be, you know. I think it could be a penalty. I think VAR are checking this. I haven't got confirmation that VAR's checking this, but I think the Yorks, the referee said, wait a minute, VAR didn't give anything. No penalty for Arsenal there. I just thought for a moment it could have been given. But
no, I completely agree with the decision. I don't think there's enough contact for Jesus to go down in it. He almost went down in fatigue than from the actual challenge. There was not enough contact for me to warrant a penalty, especially this late on in such a big game.
Yes, still 0-0. We could see a moment. Could we see a moment of magic from one of the City players out there today, like Erling Haaland, Phil Foden, Jeremy Doku, Bernardo Silva, or will we see a moment of magic from Gabriel Martinelli, Kai Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard, who comes up trumps in big games late on, as Arsenal with Thomas Partey just looking to get the ball forward. It's out wide for Ben White, back into Thomas Partey, and Partey will now look forward. Wonderful ball over the top. Tomiyasu heads it down into the penalty area. Goes Kai Havertz. Gabriel Martinelli shot. It's taken deflection and gone in. Arsenal have won it right at the death. I swear I do not believe it. A massive deflection of Nathan Ake. Bamfus Edison and Gabriel Martinelli, the substitute, may have just won this game for Arsenal. There's 4 minutes plus stoppage time to go. And City, who were 12 games unbeaten in the Premier League fixture and won the last 6 meetings at the Emirates Stadium, look like they are going to be going down to a defeat after conceding their 6th goal in this fixture in the last 13 appearances, the last 13 matches. And it's Arsenal 1, Manchester City 0. Gabriel Martinelli with the goal.
Yeah, and it was always going to take a moment of just pure luck, really, to get the first goal. And it's a long ball forward. The header was won by Tomiyasu coming up from the back, and it found its way to Martinelli. The shot takes a massive deflection off Nathan Ake. Edison with no chance. And Arsenal take a very, very late lead. But is there still time for Manchester City to push for an equaliser? About 3 minutes or so plus any added time. Will we see one of Pep's late goals again?
I wonder if we will do, Bruno. But that late goal could prove to be a big one in the race for the Premier League title this season. Arsenal lead by a goal to nil. The goal timed at 85 minutes and 59 seconds.
Funnily enough, it's 3 of the Arsenal substitutes actually that link up to score that goal. Tomiyasu's header to Havertz, who laid it to Martinelli, the halftime sub, and they all combined to score the opening goal in this game. So a masterclass from Mikel Arteta there.
Yes, a masterclass from Arteta to change things at half time. But here's Phil Foden. What can City do here? As Foden goes down, no free kick given. Martin Odegaard can fetch this ball away for Arsenal. He finds Saliba, who then finds Ben White. Ben White coming forward. Wonderful bit of play. He's going to be going forward. Here's Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey now has the ball out wide. Wonderful play this. As here they come. Down the line. Jesus into Odegaard. Jesus again. And back it goes well. And here comes Arsenal again. Tomiyasu does well to find Ben White as City are playing well. And we saw you potentially going to give player of the match to Bruno, but in a moment I'll probably ask you for who it's going to be. Just want to let Paul know for the confirmation of your player of the match as we watch Declan Rice come forward for Arsenal. Wonderful play. Tomiyasu. Back it goes to Gabriel. Wonder if we'll see any more late twists and turns in this game. What a big game this has been to call. And a fantastic bit of play between the two sides. A fantastic game and piece of quality in the end. As here comes Arsenal with Gabriel Jesus. Here is Kai Havertz. What can Havertz do? But Odegaard's nips in Doku as we enter 4 minutes of added time. Havertz finds White to Odegaard. Back it goes well. And we'll be getting ready to go across to Bruno in a moment to find out who his player of the match is. Once we get a stoppage in, plays the ball. Is it Ford? Walker under pressure from Tomiyasu. Goes all the way back to his goalkeeper Ederson. Downfield it needs to be now for City if they are to get an equaliser. John Stones is there. In the centre circle, John Stones plays it into the path of Phil Foden. Foden switching the play well to Doku, who brings it down well under his spell on that far left hand touchline. Goes back to Gvardiol, back towards Doku, and he can't keep the ball in play. Now ball runs harmlessly out of play for a goal kick in the end. And while we wait for this goal kick to be taken for Arsenal, which will be taking a bit of time over, I'm sure, David Raya, if you just like to tell us then, Bruno, and our wonderful listeners, what you're going to go for today's player of the match, sponsored by Commentary Services, and the reason why you're giving it to that player.
Well, in a game which has been defences on top for the majority, I was going to go for William Saliba, who's kept Erling Haaland completely quiet all game. But I think I'm going to have to go for the match winner, it looks like, Gabriel Martinelli. He's been very impactful for Arsenal since coming off the bench at half-time. He's been the most direct player in the second half and Arsenal's most dangerous in a game where they have missed Bukayo Saka. And he looks like he's scored a massive, massive winning goal for them. So I'm going to go for Gabriel Martinelli as my man of the match.
Yeah, so Gabriel Martinelli, our player of the match. I wonder if you agree with that choice, let us know. Or if you would have gone with, say, Saliba like he was originally going to go for until that late goal happened. Would have been your choice. So who's been your choice for player of the match? Kai Havertz has done a really remarkable job trying to hold it in the corner. And Gabriel Jesus is penalised for a foul there. And then he's gone down, holding his back here, Gabriel Jesus, as if Ederson's kicked him in the back here. He stays down here, Gabriel Jesus. A yellow card to be produced here. Yellow card for both Jesus and Ederson there. And just looking at this again, It's Jesus for kicking the ball away there, and he's Edison for pushing him over, and it's silly to be pushing him over like that, and it's also silly to be kicking the ball away in them situations as well. I know your team's one up and trying to keep it in the corner, and you're disappointed to give away a free kick, but don't kick the ball away. Teams have known the rules this season not to kick the ball away, and the players still do it in matches. And if they know they're going to get a booking for it, I don't know why they do it in the first place. And the ball finds its way into the arms of David Raya eventually as he picks the ball up now, as Orland tries to close him down with 20 seconds or so left to play then. In what has been a game which I think Bruno summed up perfectly earlier, a game in which was both teams' defenses were on top, but until a bit of quality from Martinelli to win it. And there it is, just as I'm speaking there, the full-time whistle has gone. Arsenal have claimed a massive all 3 points in the Premier League and in terms of the title race as well. Arsenal struck late with round about 4 minutes left to play through the substitute Gabriel Martinelli, and rightly pointed out by Bruno as well, the three substitutes combine. Tomiyasu's header into Kai Havertz, Utido Martinelli, whose shot took a massive deflection off Nathan Ake to on-foot Ederson to give Arsenal a 1-0 lead. And Arsenal against Manchester City finishes with a 1-0 scoreline to the Arsenal. As the Arsenal fans normally like to sing, and they can sing it today, 1-0 to the Arsenal is the final score. Bruno, your thoughts on what has been a game where defences were on top until a bit of quality late on won the match in the end for the Gunners?
Yeah, well, I think it was probably luck more than quality with the deflected effort from Martinelli. And because it looked for all the world like it was just going to be a stalemate 0-0 draw. But these are the big moments that you need to win a Premier League title. And in the past, in previous years, Arsenal haven't had those. And it's been Manchester City or Manchester United in previous times getting those late goals. But now, is this the turning of the tide? And is this going to be Arsenal's year finally to break that curse since 2004, 20 years since their last Premier League title?
Yes, it'd be interesting to see if that is the case. So we're just going to take a quick break, but when I do return, we'll go through today's scores on the doors from the rest of the matches, react to this game in a bit more detail, and then we'll go through the full Premier League scores from the weekend that we've had so far. But full time in our feature match in the Premier League today, Arsenal 1, Manchester City 0. Join us shortly for some full time analysis. Welcome back to the Common Trubs coverage of the game between Arsenal and Manchester City, which has taken place at the Emirates Stadium this afternoon. Myself, Russ Vernon, alongside Bruno Winter, to provide you was on hand to provide you the action as it happened, and we had a late goal. But let me run you through the scores on the doors from elsewhere in the matches today around the world and Europe. And we'll start off in the Women's Super League. It was Brighton and Hove Albion 0, West Ham United 2, Man City 1, Chelsea 1. Man City women finished with 9 players, with 2 players sent off. Alex Greenwood, controversially in my opinion, sent off, and Lauren M sent off as well. They go for Guro Reiten for Chelsea after Chloe Kelly had put City into a 1-0 lead. Tottenham 3, Bristol City 1, Leicester 1, Everton 0, and Liverpool take on Aston Villa in around about 15 minutes' time, with England star Rachel Daly, Chloe Staniforth, Jordan Nobbs all in the starting lineup for Aston Villa today, with Scotland's Rachel Corsie playing for Villa as well. In the Women's Championship, just quickly to run you through those: Charlton 1, Durham 1, Reading 1, Lewes 0, Birmingham 1, Sunderland 1, Blackburn 0, Crystal Palace 4, Watford 0, Southampton 2. French League 1, Marseille 3, Le Havre 0, Lyon 3, Lorient 3, Brest 1, Toulouse 1, Montpellier Clermont was 4-2 to Montpellier at the time. When the 90th minute, the game was abandoned due to spectators' riots, which saw in the 92nd minute Maure Diaw for Clermont, who is the Clermont goalkeeper, the visitors' goalkeeper, from our understanding, was struck by a firework, and which caused the game to be abandoned there. In the German Bundesliga, Bayer Leverkusen 3, FC Cologne 0, Bayern Munich 3, Freiburg 0, Family Scottish Frankfurt 0, Heidenheim 0 in the Bundesliga. Italian Serie A to tell you about is Monza 3, Salernitana 0, Frosinone 2, Verona 1, Lazio 3, Atalanta 2. Latest score after 78 minutes is Cagliari 0, AS Roma 4. In that game, Napoli playing this evening at 7:45 against Fiorentina. Scottish Premiership, St Mirren 0, Rangers 3. Rangers end run of 3 straight defeats with a 3-0 thumping of 10 man St Mirren this afternoon. James Tavernier opened the scoring from the penalty spot before Sema, and Tavernier added a second for himself in stoppage time. Aberdeen 0, St Johnstone 0 as well. La Liga, Villarreal 1, Las Palmas 2, Atletico Madrid 2, Real Sociedad 1. Half-time is Alaves 1, Real Betis 1, Celta Vigo 2, Getafe 2. Getafe down to 10 men. This evening, Granada take on Barcelona in that one. And in the MLS, Atalanta United 1, Columbus Crew 1, CF Montreal 4, Portland Timbers 1. In the final game for Wayne Rooney's DC United boss, his side, DC United, beat New York City by 2-0 from a Leeds man, Mateus Click, on the score sheet there. Inter Miami 0, FC Cincinnati 1, New York Red Bulls 3, Toronto FC 0, Orlando City 3, New England Revolution 2, Philadelphia Union 0, Nashville 0, Austin 2, Los Angeles FC 4, Chicago Fire 0, Charlotte 2, FC Dallas 1, San Jose Earthquakes 1, Houston Dynamo 5, Colorado Rapids 1, Minnesota United 5, LA Galaxy 2, Real Salt Lake 2, Sporting Kansas City 3, and Seattle Sounders 0, Vancouver Whitecaps 0. So, we'll quickly just have a look at the action and fetching my co-commentator again, Bruno. And Bruno, it was a game which was started of any real goal-mouth action and shots on target. Both defences were really on top, putting their bodies on line, blocking the shots. But Lele strike from Martinelli, which was a fantastic finish, although he did take a deflection. Good strike from Martinelli to try and get it on target. But Bruno, your overall thoughts on the game, and do you think there was something that Arsenal deserved, or do you think a draw would have been a fairer result in your opinion?
Yeah, I think that a draw would have probably been the correct result. But obviously, football doesn't work that way, as has been proven many times over the years. I don't think there was anything in it from both sides, really. And it was always going to take a moment like a deflected shot or a set piece to grab a goal. And luckily for Arsenal and Mikel Arteta, they're the ones that got it very late on as well. So it sort of impeded any Manchester City fight back. And it could be a crucial 3 points come the end of the season in the title race.
Yes, absolutely. And when you mention that in the title race, Arsenal now have moved above Manchester City. I'll give you the full table a little bit later on after I've given you the full classified check from the weekend's games. But just tell you, Arsenal have moved up above Manchester City in the table now. And I'll let you know where they sit at the moment. And there's a surprise leader at the top of the table. Just a quick one as well then, Bruno. With this game, do you feel like Arteta will probably be happy over the two managers, and Pep will ruin those missed chances and those misblocked efforts for his side today?
Well, I think Pep will obviously be disappointed that his side didn't take the early advantage. Certainly, that chance from the corner was a massive chance for Nathan Ake. They had one cleared off the line, Declan Rice, with a header. But yeah, Arteta will certainly be the happier of the managers. This was always a massive game for him. I'm sure that he had one eye on it from a while back. And his Arsenal side were able to show that they did this without their star man, really, in Bukayo Saka. So it's a really big win for Arsenal for many different reasons, because they've now shown that they have the grit and the determination to carry on and keep on going, even when the game is late and they're not playing too well. They just find a way to win games, and that is massively important come the end of the season, certainly.
Yes, I was just about to ask you as well if you felt Arsenal missed Bukayo Saka today, and with him missing Bukayo Saka today, do you think Gabriel Martinelli stepped up to the play when he came on to be as influential as Bukayo Saka is in this Arsenal side?
Yeah, they certainly did miss him today on that right wing. They're very slow. They played Gabriel Jesus there today, and he was fairly ineffective, certainly as a winger. He didn't give Gvardiol Ake any real problems all game. And yeah, as you say, Martinelli came out off the bench, and just as soon as he came on, Arsenal started the second half, first 5-10 minutes, very brightly. He was much more direct than they'd been in the first half. And he completely changed the game. I know people talk about the goal, and it was a lucky deflected goal, but just him coming on and his presence on that left wing really did change the game.
Yes, absolutely. And you actually pointed out as well, Bruno, 3 of the substitutes that came on for Arsenal today, in Martinelli, in Tomiyasu, in Havertz, were all involved in the goal today, because Havertz collected the ball from the header down from Tomiyasu. He then set up Martinelli. So Arteta must be happy with how the defenders, how those substitutions worked out for him in the game today.
Yeah, and it's in a way he out-tacticked his master in Pep Guardiola, and this could be a real turning point for not just Arsenal, but for Mikel Arteta as a manager and how we view him. a lot of people would have been quite critical of him last season for changing it up quite a bit towards the end of the season. But he's proven today that his substitutions worked. Kai Havertz has taken a lot of sticks since his big money move, but he was heavily involved in the goal as well. So it could turn out to be a real turning point this for Arsenal, and they'll hope that they can carry this momentum after the international break and take it into the next set of fixtures.
Yes, and just one final one before we round up with the Premier League scores and the standings in the Premier League after the weekend's fixtures. If we were to ask you just a quick word on Manchester City, Bruno, briefly, they're going to be disappointed. They would have wanted to come here, try and get at least a point from the closest rivals, try and see if we could get back on the top spot after being knocked off it with Tottenham's result yesterday, which I'll mention in a few moments' time. They were unable to do that today. How disappointed do you think Pep Guardiola will be that he's not been able to reclaim that top spot in a game which in one of the biggest games that Man City will have all season in the Premier League?
Yeah, he'll be disappointed, but I don't think he'll be disheartened. We can't forget that he was without Rodri, his main central midfielder, and the heart of that so dominant Manchester City midfield. But at the same time, it's not a game that you want to lose because it gives Arsenal not just 3 points, but a lot of hope that they can challenge Manchester City throughout the course of the season, not just in a 1v1 game. So it's a big night for Arsenal, but I don't think Manchester City will be too disheartened by it. But two defeats on the bounce now for City. They'll be looking to put that right, certainly after the international break, which comes at a good time for them, I think. I think some of their players looked a bit tired, a bit lethargic. And this will be a good time for some of them to regroup and rest.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see how City do regroup in the end today. I think it'll be very interesting to see what will unfold, how that one will unfold during the break, how Pep Guardiola will look to change that and try and get his team back to the winning ways, which he knows they can be and are capable of being a part of as well, Bruno. I think when Pep looks at it, like I say, be disappointed but not disheartened. They've come to a good side who were challenging last season. Look, like they're going to be challenging again this season, and he's just narrowly lost out by a 0-0 in the end, which, like I say, can't be too disheartened. They played well for 86 minutes or so, but then they didn't really cause a few problems after that to create anything late on, or in the game they didn't really create much in terms of goal scoring action, did they really today, Bruno?
No, and I think this is probably the first game where they've really, really missed Kevin De Bruyne. They just don't really have that number 10 without him, who could just grab the game by the scruff of the neck and make a brilliant through pass or a long range shot. They've tried to play Julian Alvarez there, and he's been effective in some games, but he just doesn't have the quality. No one does that Kevin De Bruyne has. But it does look like they're going to be another while without him. So they've got to find solutions and answers to life without Kevin.
Yes, and I wonder when they'll be able to do that. Thank you very much then to Bruno Winter, brilliant coverage, and as always, excellent work alongside him this afternoon. Let's run you through the scores in the Premier League from this weekend, starting with Saturday the 7th of October. And Burnley fans, turn down your dials right now. Burnley 1, Chelsea 4. Crystal Palace 0, Nottingham Forest 0. Everton 3, Bournemouth 0. Fulham 3, Sheffield United 1. Luton Town 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Sunday, 8th of October. Arsenal 1, Man City 0. Brighton of Albion 2, Liverpool 2. West Ham United 2, Newcastle United 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Aston Villa 1. Let's bring you the Premier League table. Tottenham Hotspur sit top on 20 points, joined by Arsenal on 20 points, who are in second on goal difference. Man City are third on 18 points. Liverpool are fourth on 17 points. Aston Villa are up to fifth on 16 points, level with Brighton. West Ham have gone 2 points behind Brighton and Villa into seventh on 14 points. Newcastle sit eighth on 13 points. Palace is in ninth on 12 points. In 10th on 12 points is Manchester United. Chelsea at 11th on 11 points. Fulham are in 12th on 11 points. With 9 points, should I say, on 13th is Nottingham Forest, unlucky for some. 13. Number 14 is Wolverhampton Wanderers on 8 points. Brentford sit on 15th on 7 points. Everton are just behind them on goal difference on 7 points. Luton climb out of the bottom 3 on 4 points. Burnley drop into the bottom 3 on 4 points in 18th. Bournemouth sitting 19th on 3 points. And then Sheffield United at the bottom on 1 point. And just speaking about Sheffield United for a moment, I just want to say on behalf of everyone at the commentary hub, we just want to wish Sheffield United defender Chris Basham a speedy recovery. Went off injured in the first half after 35 minutes yesterday with a really bad ankle injury. And on behalf of everyone in the commentary hub, we want to wish, and also Turtle Dogs Football and JB Sports and Storm FM, we want to wish everyone at those places want to wish Chris Basham a speedy recovery from what looks like to be a long-term ankle injury in the end there. So that's all we've got time for today here on the commentary hub. A big thank you to Turtle Dogs Football. A big thank you to Bruno, as always, for excellent insight and excellent commentary as usual. Big thank you to those who have listened as well. Big thank you to our producer today, Paul James. Thank you very much, my friend. Hopefully you're doing well. And big thank you to those who have listened, Luke Turton and Isabel Reeves as well. Thank you very much for taking your time to listen to us here on the commentary hub or Turton Talks Football. But for myself, Russ, from Bruno, and from the rest of the team here at the commentary hub, is a very good night to you all. Have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll see you very, very soon here on the commentary hub and Turton Talks Football. For all the team here, is a very good night to you all.